with my best friends. Some people say we have a problem, but every night I make a new best friend, and the only problem is we like having a good time.
Hello. Oh, he's eating. Are you eating a cupcake? Oh, uh-oh.
Hey, do you ever do improv?
No.
You sure? Know who your
Yeah.
friends are?
I know who my friends are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, ask your question.
I don't have a question.
Colton and I have nothing to do with each other. How many times do I got to talk about this with all these kids?
Spencer, you should be
Anyway.
worried about your money. You should be everyone should be worried about Pluggo right now. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Scott Colton and I want nothing to do with him.
How many times did you
Anyway.
have to watch that to memorize that? Be honest with me.
Twice.
Twice.
watched
Okay,
it
that's
twice.
fair. That's a fair answer. I was expecting worse. It would have taken me
These
more
are
than
from
twice, for the record. It would have
Mindy's.
taken me more than twice.
Mindy,
All right, well,
they're not open on Mondays and
Pluggo just
Tuesdays.
wanted an excuse to eat a damn cupcake. That's really all he was looking for, was just an excuse to eat a cupcake. But as I was going to say, hello. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. You know what that means. It's Between Two Beards. Pluggo, excellent way to start the show. And then Lawrence says he was going to do that bit on Halloween. And then we're doing Bachelor 69. Thank you for you can get that beautiful.
Let's get it out of the way.
We
don't
are.
have a lot of time.
We don't. We got something huge off the jump. You might have seen on Twitter. We said we were going to have a special guest to join the show. I know the picture was very
Hey!
there he is.
The man, the legend, Mr. Warren Hayes, below Spencer's budget. He's ripping his hair out right now. He's about to go all Ace Steel on us.
Spencer is?
Spencer will, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
but
getting
Spencer,
a chair thrown at my face tomorrow morning.
No,
That's what's
but
happening.
he's gonna go Ace Steel. But you know when you don't bite, and you just sort of like place your teeth on something and just that's what Spencer's gonna do.
Gummer,
Yeah.
Spencer can't get violent. I don't believe Spencer can get violent.
I mean, if anybody was going to see it, it would be us by now.
Mrs.
Hey, I want to say,
Pluggo
I
says hi, Warren.
just want to say hi to your wife.
Talking about my wife. Listen, I'm old.
A gummer.
I'm tired. I
yeah.
work with a bunch of kids.
Violence is forever, though. That's what he's saying. Violence is forever.
Violence is forever.
You know,
Great
we
tag
figured
team, by the way.
we
Great.
reached out to Warren a little earlier. We said, it's a real slow week. Not much to talk about. We got to fill some time. And we said, hey, if you're available, before you go live at 9,
I'm
love to have you on.
I'm scrambling for
The
topics. I don't
history
know.
of wrestling.
Tough
That's what we're here to
week.
talk about.
Well, did you know that traditionally judo mats were made of woven rice straw?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Did you like the idea of them switching to the canvas style material we know today for professional
Actually,
wrestling?
today, PVC rubber nitrate is or cross-linked polyethylene. That's what most wrestling mats are made of currently today.
Wow.
No joke, though. No joke. Do you know that? And this is how the legend goes. That wrestling rings in WWF at the time started to get. They started adding more padding to them once Vince started taking bumps in a ring. Did you guys know this?
Oh,
I did not know
I
that.
did not
Yeah.
know that.
Wow.
When Vince started getting into the angle with Stone Cold and he started bumping, he was like, "Fuck this shit. We're adding more padding on the ring."
Yeah. That,
Wow, the tables
that makes
turned.
sense when you think about. We got a Kool-Aid man in the chat saying CM bum. All right, well, something
All
happened.
right, why don't we just dive right in that? We got you, Warren. I'm intrigued on your thoughts, but JPJ's thoughts. This is the wildest thing I've seen in how many years? Is it like this is crazy, right? It's gotta be.
This is as exciting as when the rumors of AEW starting up. As far as everyone hanging on to the news cycle. Monday was wild. Monday was crazy because everything started. Was it no, Tuesday? Excuse me. Tuesday was wild. Because then everyone was. They were talking about Tony. all the news sites were sort of letting us know that shit was going down. CM Punk had a meeting with Tony, and then we're getting word of the suspensions, and then everyone was like hanging on to the news cycle for dear life, making sure that everything's okay. And it's just wild to me. It's just wild. Like it's been a while since it's been this crazy and exciting. And I think it goes back to I don't even think Vince retiring was
I agree. I agree. And Hab Guy, thanks for popping in the chat. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, no, I can't remember a story like this in a long time. And I've been watching wrestling for a long time. And it's been a while. And it's just crazy the way it all happened.
What the effervescence kind of reminds me of? The Outsiders. That's the only thing that I have like a comparison of, just like, shit, you don't understand what's going on. This is wild. It's just flipping your worldview kind of thing. You're just, the walls are crumbling. You're seeing so much things happening behind. I think we go back to the Outsiders, to Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. I really do.
Yeah. Well, I know that everybody's like, is this a work? This is a shoot. What is this? There's no way. This is a work. If this is a work, then this is the worst thing they've ever done. I am a CM Punk supporter. Like, he is my favorite wrestler. I love the guy. But even I'm sitting there during that press scrum going, shut up. Stop. Tony, stop him. Like, you got to say something. He's burying your entire company.
The problem is,
and he made you look so bad.
Yeah, I think this is a situation where literally everyone looks bad. Everyone looks bad, because Tony looked bad just sitting there.
He's like, yep,
not doing anything. He's just kind of like, yeah, you can tell a couple times he was wincing at a certain, he's like, oh, like you could tell he didn't like the comments, but he wasn't going to say anything or interrupt the guy. And then they still go through this the rest of it, and he's there. So he's not even involved in what's going on. And, Jericho kind of comes out there and is like, yo, man, there's shit going on.
That's how I think.
And then I think, Spencer behind the glass there. Yeah, I think you're right. Like, everyone is praising Jericho. Like, he's the only one that's getting like some good, like, oh, well, he saw what was going on and he's a pro. So he walked out there and he knew he had to kind of diffuse things by just kind of doing his performance there. And that's what he did. But like, in general, like, we should have been coming out of this weekend as wrestling fans of like, hey man, that was a pretty good weekend of wrestling. Like, I thought Clash at the Castle was good. I really enjoyed When Worlds Collide, the in-ring. I thought All Out, while some of the booking decisions were questionable, I thought all in all, it was a good show. And then within 24 hours, really, nobody's talking about any of the wrestling that happened this past weekend, which was one of the bigger wrestling weekends we've had in a long time. Everyone's just like, what the hell? What the hell happened? There was a fight. People are biting people, throwing chairs. Like, what is going on here? It was wild.
And absolutely they gave it away for free. The scrum outshadowed the return of Samoa Joe, the return of MJF, the Acclaim.
Put all the sprites, all the scrums, $9.99 on Fight moving forward. That's what
they
you want.
And people will pay it because they'll be like, it's about to go down.
Unbelievable. And now. You get to Dynamite last night, and four of your brand new crown champions are vacated. See you later. Not going to be around. I don't think they announced how long the suspensions were for Kenny and the Bucks, but they're suspended. They still haven't announced what's going on with Punk, and now the report is he's big time hurt.
But they haven't even announced. We're all speculating here. These are all reports. There's nothing official.
They still haven't come out and said it?
We don't know who's suspended. Yeah. We don't know who's gone. We don't know who's fired. We don't know for how long. We just know they weren't there and everyone got stripped. If the only thing that I think we can glean from all of this is if we're stripping everyone of their titles, that means people are going to be gone for a while. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming at this point. Or it's just Tony outright going, delivering punishment.
Yeah, this is your punishment,
which is fair as well.
Because
honestly, go ahead. Sorry,
I was gonna say, if you're the Bucks and Omega, you are going to be held to a higher standard because of the EVP title.
Yeah.
So they're obviously he's going to punish them even if their side of the story was the right side of the story, they were super nice about it, walked in and got ambushed.
I mean, it's a side of the story. Look, here's the thing. It's like, you end up in middle school, you go to the principal's office, you're sitting there, and he said, he threw the basketball at my head. Yeah, but, he kicked me in the shins before. So it's like, no one looks good in this. Like, no. Regardless of whatever sides are coming out, at least, there's a thing that I really appreciate is that, Dave and Sean, who are reporting mostly on this, they're both saying, we're getting this from the elite side. We're getting this from Punk side. So at least, you're not like, okay, at least we know where the news is coming from. So of course the elite side is going to be like, gee willikers, we just walked in. We just wanted to have a little chitty chat. And then Punk started swinging and by golly, geez, we had to save the puppy. That's all we wanted to do was save the puppy.
That's why Kenny was there, just to save Larry.
We were going to do trust falls.
He got a Pepsi twist on the brain and he just went nuts. What are you going to do? It's like that's what the news cycle is right now. But I think the suspensions, whatever they turn out to be, I think it's standard procedure. If they're, at least I think in any company that's doing an internal investigation, you suspend. Right. Yeah. The people who are involved in this, anyone who touched hands, people are like, why the fuck was Pat Buck involved in this? Why is,
Christopher Daniels,
Brandon Cutler? It's like,
Landon?
Well, maybe if they're in the melee and they're trying to pull people apart and they're pushing people apart at some point, it's like the one thing that's there though, is that their VP of legal affairs was there apparently. Yeah. And I mean, I'm pretty sure she didn't get involved.
No.
I mean, maybe she did. Maybe she took the chair. He's like, I'm sick of this shit.
What if the report comes out tomorrow that she was the one that threw the chair?
Yeah, but there you go. But I mean, she was there. She probably saw a whole bunch of stuff, and probably her testimony is going to have incredible amounts of weight in all of this. So, look, it's been just some wild stuff. But here's what because we've all been talking about the same thing, and I'm going to be doing it in about an hour or so over on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. I think there's a couple of things that we're not talking enough about, throughout it all. I think, I feel this is going to sound weird, but I feel really, really, really bad for MJF because he was about to come in. Every sign pointed to him coming into the biggest program of his career.
Yeah.
Right. Coming back from the work shoot that they did, whether it was, whatever, it's turned into a work. It's fine now. Whatever happened before. Coming in after that, showing back up at All Out to a huge reaction and clearly eyeballing the title. You cannot tell me that after this show, it was not written explicitly on Tony Khan's notebook that the main event for the Arthur Ashe show was Punk.
Oh yeah,
MJF 3. There was that was your killer right there, and it's not going to happen. And not only is it not going to happen, but CM Punk made damn sure that no one was talking about MJF. Yeah. No one was talking about his return, which sucks because that was the biggest news of the weekend.
Yes, it was.
Up until that point. Before
that
point,
out,
it was karaoke night in Cardiff.
Yeah.
Then MJF showing up was the biggest thing.
We brought you to sing tonight, Warren. That's why we brought you to sing.
I was looking forward for cupcakes. But that's one thing, right? So,
I got one more.
Like I feel like MJF is a loser in this. Not he's losing is what I'm trying to say. He lost.
I mean, there is that camp that said he kind of did the same thing.
Well, I was going to say, he did that to Wardlow at Double or Nothing.
I know what Punk did is like nuclear.
Different.
I mean, we're on a whole other level here. Yeah. We're on a complete other level. And you know what? I kind of think that the whole Wardlow thing was already set. Look, anyway, another discussion for another time. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. Like, ultimately, it doesn't matter. I still think it sucks because it is. And here's the thing is that then you have CM Punk. CM Punk has shown a lot of really, really bad colors, a lot of hypocrisy. in a lot of things that he's saying. And one of the things that I feel that needs to be pointed out a lot more by people is him going around saying, and in that scrum saying, because Hangman Adam Page said a line to him that was off script, that he went into business for himself and put at risk $1 million match for the company or whatever. What the fuck do you think CM Punk did right here?
Yeah, exactly.
See, I can guarantee that if CM Punk, look at me, but you know what you guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
CM Punk and MJF would have filled out every last seat at Arthur Ashe. Right now, there's like I checked out WrestleTix. There's about 5,000 tickets left. That's a substantial number.
Yeah.
Of tickets left at the stadium show. It had that match happen, boom, a couple of days would have been gone.
Biggest feud show probably in history since the
it would have easily been the highest rated Dynamite.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. Plus, like, I'm looking back on all of the promos that Punk has been involved in storyline wise, and what Hangman said is like not even the worst.
No, like MJF said some terrible stuff. Kingston said some bad stuff, and that like maybe they went to Punk and said, "Hey, is it cool if I could say it?" And Hangman didn't. I don't know, but it's very bizarre. And like
no disrespect to Hangman Page, who I adore, but Hangman Page versus CM Punk was not like the big money match upon which the entire future of AEW was hinging. Like everyone saw CM Punk winning coming. Like, it's fine. It's not that big a deal. But there is a substantial difference between Punk versus Page and Punk versus MJF. Punk versus MJF is a huge match. It's the biggest one they have in their pocket. And look at what this guy did. He went and ruined it. He ruined it.
He did.
All right.
But, and for what? Like, because you didn't like the way the Bucks handled some rumors? Like, you could have went to them. That's the thing too. He's telling us in this.
Here's what I would have liked.
Come talk to me if you've got a problem.
And then they went to talk to him, and he started, according to one side, they went to talk to him, and he started throwing fists. It's like, okay, well, you just said if you have a problem, come see me. We're right here. We have a problem.
I would like to know who the Bucks were talking to. That's the thing. That's ultimately because I think it's full of shit. I really think it's full of shit. Like, I got to be careful here because there is some things that I know and I just want to be careful. But a lot of the people who source things to journalists are usually the same type of the same people. Okay. It's not always the case. There are exceptions, but usually those who are very forthright with information, it's usually the same gaggle of folks.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, I've never heard Kenny Omega talking to the news reporters, like, being a source.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to maybe Dave, but I don't think that they feed all that much information.
Yeah.
I think Punk just got paranoid. I think he just started flailing around, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and now there's reports that he's hurt and he could be out for a while. It's a big injury. Some people are throwing out 6 to 8 months. Nothing confirmed, obviously. So maybe that added to everything. Maybe he knew he was hurt, and then he's getting a little paranoid, and he's tired, and blah blah blah. This is the second big like he came back a year ago.
But I wonder what happened from the second he walked off stage to that press scrum where he's like, I'm just gonna light this whole thing on.
Yeah, I'm literally just sparking the fuse.
Because he didn't Hausman didn't even say anything, and he was just like, "Who are you with?"
Yeah,
he was ready. He was ready to.
And then
he was ready to tear into Colt Cabana.
He did that He did that half baked like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. I'm out." That's what he did. He just
was scorched earth.
I was like, "What just happened?" Because again, I'm coming back to. You spend $50 on All Out. That's your marquee show of the year. And nothing has been spoken of that pay-per-view. It was all that 15-minute scrum. And I'm sitting there like, Tony, say something. I understand that he's got to like navigate a fine line, but like shut that down. Like you just say scrum's over, we're done, and then you handle your business because he just made your entire company look like great. And my hope is that there's some good that comes out of this, and Tony Khan understands now, like, hey, like I gotta set some boundaries.
I gotta set a
think
precedent of hey, and this is a company here. This is a professional company.
Because it's all
I think
his
there's
money.
already
It's
good.
it's nobody else's money in the pot. It's just him.
Yeah,
And I think there's already good that's come out of it because last night's Dynamite was excellent.
very good.
Yes.
And and the guys who had to stepped up. And as much as I feel MJF came out and did his role perfectly. He did exactly what he had to do.
Mm-hmm.
He had me too. He had me. I thought he was going to be a face. I thought,
but no, of course not, because then the real baby face comes out, and then he's like, "Nah, fuck you all," right?
Yeah, exactly.
There
His
you
box
go.
came out. I was like, "Damn it!"
You know what that message was? Is that look? This is Tony Khan saying these are the two guys who are going to put this company on their back right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting them straight off the bat. And you've got this one. You've got MJF who's back, who's legitimately excited to be back. I would think.
Yep.
Then he's back doing his role, and then John Moxley, who
Best wrestler in the world, in my opinion.
just does everything, perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yes, set aside his vacation, had to tell Renee, sweetie, honey, not just yet. Sorry,
They need me. They need me now. I need to be there.
But I did enjoy last night. Them. I know everybody went in. I know I watched it going, what are they going to talk about? How are they going to address this? I actually did enjoy the fact that they didn't mention it at all. They brought up the tournament.
What do you do?
What do you like the tournament or not? So be it. Like I know people were. I love the tournament idea.
I love
but
tournaments in wrestling. I'm all for it.
But my point is, like, if you bring it up and you let Caster do his rap about Punk and you have MJF shoot all over Punk in the bus, you're basically saying we're still holding on to this instead of going, you know what, we're just going to move forward. This is a black eye. This is day one in the new AEW.
Yeah, you're cleaning out the dead tooth. But let's wrap it up on this because I'm going to have to go do my own thing.
You got that other show, the big show.
I've got the other thing. Yeah, I got the B show.
We only paid for the half hour.
But Pluggo, like to your point, I agree with you. I like how they handled it. What would they have done otherwise? What is the plan? Tony Khan comes out in front of television, in front of everyone and says, I don't know, we had to fire CM Punk and Kenny Omega and the Bucks, like those people you really like. We have to strip them of the titles because they were very unprofessional. Mm-hmm. It just sucks the energy out of the room.
Yep.
What you want to do, you're still doing a television show in front of an audience and in front of a live audience too. You got to get them excited. You got to get them into it. That's what your focus is. Really put out press releases that are triple verified by your legal department afterwards so that everything is kosher, everything's cool and clean, and everyone is all right. But otherwise, I think the opposite would have just tanked the show. And then what do you think happens? Everyone hits to Twitter. And that's all they're talking about. They're not talking about how fantastic a match Hangman Page and Bryan Danielson had. They're not going to talk about how Daniel Garcia winning the Pure title in his hometown. They're all going to talk about, oh my God, CM Punk was fired.
Yep.
Oh, it was smart. It was
because
brilliant.
there's so many people who got mad at that. I'm like, well, is this alternative better? And one last thing. I'm glad that and there's probably legal reasons, don't get me wrong, but I'm glad they're taking their time in announcing this. And I know it's counterproductive to everyone who lives on Twitter where you have to have a reaction and an apology and a statement like 65 minutes past the event. Otherwise, it's a complete PR failure, but it's not. Take your time, sit back, make sure that all your pieces are in place, then come forward with an announcement. I don't care. It's not taking anything away from my enjoyment of AEW. I don't think it's unprofessional. I think if we never hear about it, it's going to be weird and maybe a little unprofessional, but not unlike what they used to do in the 80s. It would be nice, a little transparency. I agree. But as it stands right now, let's just get all these ducks in a row because to me, it's just proof that this situation is extremely complicated.
Yeah, it's true. They're definitely taking their time figuring it out, and yeah, because if they do release it, they know that they want to treat this like they are a professional company, and that's what they need to do, because you've heard, and it's not just this. There was fights weeks ago with Eddie Kingston and Guevara. There's just been a lot of stuff going on, the meeting behind the scenes, that is making AEW look like a not professional place to be. And this is a defining moment for them to kind of take their time, figure out what they're going to do, and repair a lot of the damage, if that makes sense. So
it makes absolute sense to me.
Yeah. Warren, thank you so much. We know we got to get going, so you can prepare for your show in just a little bit. Always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you so much for always sending me the little invites, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Open. So plug your stuff. Let the people know that are here that can find you, and then we'll get you on out of here.
At 9 p.m. Eastern, I do the Mr. Warren Hayes show. I record my podcast live over on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes, and I'm pruning my eyebrows right now because that's it. That's what you do. You have to take care of yourself. You have to look good. youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. Come and join me. If you can't, the video on demand will be available tomorrow, as will the audio podcast in your podcast feeds of all your favorite podcast applications, and even the podcast applications that aren't your favorites have it as well. So come along. Once these guys are done, they usually pop in. So
we do.
You'd be more than welcome to join us. There's going to be a lot to talk about tonight.
Oh yeah.
History of wrestling, Matt.
History of wrestling tonight. Wrestling Matt's
right.
all of it. But Warren, thank you again. Hopefully we will be chatting very, very soon.
Absolutely. Take it easy, guys. Thank you again so much for the invitation.
Absolutely.
Much love.
See you later, Warren. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
That
Warren
was
Hayes,
Mr. Warren Hayes, baby.
Mr. Warren Hayes
He
giving
just
us a
did an
treat.
interview with Tom Talks Rubbish. You guys check that out too. That's on YouTube as well. It was cool.
Yep. Yeah, it was very cool.
But if you're in the comments or in the chat, let us know what you think. Keep them coming. I mean, that stuff is nuts, man. I mean, I'm telling you right now, like, I'm sitting here today and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think CM Punk ever wrestles again.
That's where I'm leaning. That's where I'm leaning. I think that's where I'm leaning right now. I think, and again, I know nothing, obviously. But I think if this is an injury which is being reported that he's going to be out for 8 months, if you're him, you came back a year ago and you looked happy. Rumors were that you were happy for the first little bit, and then you became very unhappy. You became champion. You had a major injury, had to be out for a few months, came back, they made you champion again, and then you had an even more major injury. And now, you're 46, how old he is, 46, 47.
Yeah.
You've come back, and now you have 2 major injuries in a year. You're like 7 years off. Your body, his body's not reacting well. Maybe he's injury prone. Who knows?
I saw a stat today that he has had 2 AEW title reigns that have lasted all of 5 days.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because
I don't subscribe to the camp that said you should have never brought him in. I think if you have enough, you bring him in and you hope you hope for the best.
Yeah,
obviously shit went down as Orb was going down that he didn't like, and he knows that he's got the voice and the gravitas and the power to, swing that stick and say, I don't like this shit and I'm going to just fire up. He went way too far on Sunday.
Yep.
I would have hoped, and of course, we'll hear more and more as years go on. We're going to hear more and more rumors and stories, and this will be a Dark Side of the Ring episode and all this shit.
I know.
But I wish go to Tony Khan or sit down with the Bucks and Omega and say, hey, these are my frustrations. I'm trying to be a part of a business here. I don't like the way things go. Because we've noticed the trend, like you said it earlier, the fight with Kingston and Guevara. There's just these little things here and there that keep popping up in that backstage area. And I don't know. I mean, I hear, you hear the podcast, you hear the rumors, you read the stories. So sometimes the Bucks and Omega can be hard to deal with at times too. They're, EVPs. They think, because I can tell you right now that if I was sitting there and I'm Kenny Omega and I'm the Bucks and CM Punk lays waste to my company, this my house, I'm an EVP. I help build the shit. My name's in the title. I'd be pissed off too. I don't know if I'd just be like, we need to talk. I'd be like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, I would too. I don't know, man. It is a crazy, crazy situation. And again, like you said, you say years from now, we're gonna start hearing things more and more, I think, as the days
I
go
just
on.
mean, you know how stories.
Oh
kind of
yeah,
like,
oh yeah. This will be like
the
legend. This
urban
will
legend.
be
and
a legend of story.
All of a sudden, you're gonna see people like Brandon Cutler being like, "I was kicking him in the balls," and it's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, you'll get that exclusive interview from Pat Buck in
Yeah,
2027,
exactly. It
where
was
he's
a
like, "Oh, the
wild scene,
tell-all
man."
of the
Exactly.
brawl that went on." Pat Buck. 'Cause I think it's funny
Yeah,
how
he-
Punk
and he-
posted a while ago about sticking with your fellow colleagues and everything. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and I know CM Punk looks terrible here. Like he looks. It's just not good. It's not good. There was no reason he should have said any of that shit. Period. And
I know the Ecto guy had some thoughts on it. Should we let him?
the Ecto guy did have some thoughts on it.
Should we let him on, even though he,
I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, but I know he has some thoughts on it.
Right.
So go ahead if you want to come on. I won't yell at
Get
you.
out of here, Al. What are you doing? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Like, so this is all crap, right? This is all a very terrible situation.
Mhm.
But there's really two groups.
I missed him. I got
Yeah.
him.
There are two groups of people who are really getting hurt by this. And that is the fans, because as an AEW fan, this kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Like,
Yep.
I want to watch, but with all this is going on, I'm not so much, but of course, after last night, everything was
that
alleviated.
episode was excellent.
Yeah.
Last night it was an excellent episode.
The other people that could be potentially hurt in this is the talent, because let's imagine, for whatever reason, whether it had been this whole fiasco or the next one,
Yep.
AW folds. There's a ton of great talent that now doesn't have a job, and they can't either go to WWE. They won't do this. They won't do that. They won't get booked anywhere for whatever reason. That sucks.
Yeah.
And I feel, I've been watching a lot of the Twitter scroll and listening to everything, and it's like, you know what, this hurts them as much as it hurts, the people involved.
Yeah. I would agree.
I know that there was the rumor that a lot of the talent didn't even want Punk in the company, didn't think they needed him, thought that they were fine, which I could understand that. But again, as I adjust my seat here, you signed CM Punk. The WWE was willing to sign CM Punk again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you got to shoot the shot. That's one of those talents that you got to try.
Of course.
Yeah.
You got to take the shot. So yeah, but I agree with you, Alex. It's rough for them.
And like, there's
shit.
aside from the majority of what happened, there were some great matches on this All Out card.
Oh, All Out. I like the
Eddie Kingston versus Ishii.
Incredible.
It was the smartest thing. If you're a wrestler or a wrestling fan, the smartest thing that he did was when you probably noticed that there was a botch during the match.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie sold it as it was an injury to cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
As a wrestler, we're told to cover up our botches any way that we can. That was the smartest thing I've seen any wrestler ever do to cover a botch. And, the Acclaimed was amazing. The angle that they did with Christian and Jungle Boy was amazing.
Yeah.
So just that's my thoughts.
Yeah. No, and I think they're just. There have been reports, and SRS is the guy, but he has said that he's talked to high-ranking superstars in WWE that are like, it's important for AEW to survive, and it's important for AEW to thrive for the wrestling business as a whole. And nobody wants. I mean, there's always obviously going to be fans that are insane, that are like literally would be happy if AEW folded for whatever fucked up reason there are in their brains. But the more, like you said, the more places there are for people to get jobs and work and stuff like that, the better wrestling is as a whole. AEW being good and being a good product makes WWE a better product. And WWE raising their game makes AEW want to raise their game. And it's unfortunate that for whatever reason, whether it was he was hurt, tired, paranoid, whatever the reason, CM Punk sat down at that press conference and he laid out a pipe bomb. And it was a
He
very
went into
real
business for himself. Weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Competition is good.
Yeah.
Competition is crucial.
Yeah.
And CM Punk sat down at that table and he did a pipe bomb. And it was a very real pipe bomb that has strong ramifications because now you have, you know, whether he's injured or not, and he was going to miss time anyway. Now you lost your world champion and you lost your trios champions that you just crowned all 2 days prior at All Out. And now on the fly, I think they did good. I think Tony, and we're going to dive into the actual wrestling that happened this weekend and some stuff too, because I do want to talk about the good that was this weekend, because I thought this weekend was a good weekend of wrestling. I thought Raw was solid. Dynamite was excellent last night. We've had a lucky 5 days of wrestling here, or 6 days of wrestling. It's just this fucking high school bullshit is what overshadowed everything. And it's just like, okay. And I get it. It's exciting. It's like, holy shit, you know? I was streaming on Tuesday and I got people in my chat saying like, yo, rumor has it that CM Punk's going to get fired tonight. And I'm like, holy shit. What? He's the champion. Like, I understand what happened, but like, what? You know, it's crazy. And we still don't know. And we might never know, or it might be a little bit.
You can't eviscerate a company like that.
I mean, yeah, you got to be held responsible. You have to be held responsible. I look at if there was a way, and there probably isn't going to be, but if there was a way that you could retain CM Punk and not lose the locker room to the point where they're like, well, if we keep him, fuck you, I'm out. If there's a way, you got to try to do that because it's what's best for business.
I don't think so.
But you got to side with the lock. If the locker room doesn't want him to be there, guess what? See you later. Yeah, I don't care how big you are. You're not bigger than here.
I think you got to let him walk.
To an extent, I agree. Like you got to have that mentality of like, hey, if you don't want to be here, then just go.
See you later, man.
You know,
nobody's bigger. I mean, I hate that saying because that's what Vince used to say, and that's why they didn't build stars. Like nobody's bigger than the company. But like, no, when it comes to this type of shit, this type of stuff, like I don't care. Yeah, you're a legend. People love you. You're CM Punk. I get it. I run shit here. This is my company. You don't talk bad about your coworkers. You don't talk bad about, you know, if you have those gripes, we talk about that behind closed doors like fucking adults.
Yeah.
You don't pull this shit. If at my shoot job, if one of my employees did this and started talking openly shit about other employees to the customers or whatnot, guess what? He's getting at least repercussions. And that's what needs to happen here. And, you know, how they get there is how they get there. Whatever.
I don't see how you reel it back in. The toothpaste only goes out of the tube, doesn't come back. So he eviscerates the world on a scrum, and then you're going to tell me for, you know, whatever reason.
There were other things he said in that too. Like obviously people are focusing on, you know, the stuff he said about the Bucks, the stuff he said about Hangman, and all that stuff. But he said, you know, the comments where he's like, I'm working with a bunch of kids here. Yeah. To me, that's a dig at MJF. That's a dig at Darby Allin, Guevara. That when you say stuff like that, or he referenced, I think the line was, he said like, I'm running a business here, or I got a show to run.
Yeah,
no. The owner of the company is right fucking next to you.
When he said right that, I don't think he meant that in a way of like, this is my company and I'm running it. I think he's saying, I look at the wrestling as a business. This is a business to me. It's a job. I'm running this, and I'm working with all these kids who don't look at this like a business and don't take it as serious as say he does. I think he misspoke there. I know everybody hung on that too.
Well, not to go into all conspiracy theory, but there was like rumor that he's been in Tony's ears since, you know, he got there, like telling him how to do, you know, everything. So
he's
there's
CM
a lot
Punk.
But that's why like Hangman was like, I'm not only saving this AEW title from you, I'm trying to save
this company
AEW from you.
Yeah.
So
and that was the line that apparently CM Punk did not like.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, and I agree with Hab Guy. Like, I'm working with a bunch of kids, but I'm gonna sit up here and whine about it like a kid. Yeah, it's very and like Warren alluded to it too. What was the reason why he was? What was the official reason why he was angry at Hangman? Because Hangman went into business for himself. Well, when Punk sat down at that press conference table, what the fuck did he do?
Mm-hmm.
He went into business for himself.
He went into business for himself.
Exactly what was the basis of this whole fucking thing was one guy going into business for himself. That's why he was pissed. That's why he called out Hangman. That's why he almost quit. That's why all this stuff. And then you sit at that table after they make you champion for the second time. You sit at that table and you do the exact damn same thing.
And
like
we're not even
friggin' child.
And we're not even talking about the Bucks and Omega side of this. Like, Tony sat there in that presser, and yeah, he winced a couple of times, but he was nodding at things, and he took it. He didn't stand up for Kenny and the Bucks. And if I'm Kenny and the Bucks, like, that's more like, if you lose Punk, that's going to sting a little bit, but your roster's so good that you'll be fine if you just start building off that roster like they did on Wednesday. But you have 3 EVPs that you just suspended, who, whether they were right, wrong, you suspended them, that's out into the world. So it looks like they're in trouble, which they are. How do you repair that? How do you repair that damage if you're Tony Khan? Because you just let this dude just and if Exo Guy, what you said about the Punk being in Tony's ear this whole time, how do you fix that?
It's like,
then are you gonna let the Bucks and Omega walk too? Like, if they walk when their contracts are up, like Cody did, that stings. That's a stinger too, because this is their company. It's all elite wrestling. It's not all,
what it boils down to is, Tony needs to do the right thing for the greater good, for the majority, and let Punk go.
Yeah, I think that's the decision.
I don't even think he's going to have to. I think Punk's just going to go.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Punk, especially if he's injured now, the report's saying he's going to be out 6 to 8 months, like a torn bicep or tricep or something like that. Like, if that's real, he's not going to be around. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just kind of, I'm going to go deal with this injury, and they never speak again. And
I wonder how that conversation went when he got home. Like,
what, with
AJ,
him?
With AJ,
like, what the hell were you doing? What the hell were you doing?
When I have like a shitty day at work, right? I come home and I vent to Mrs. Pluggo and I let her know, and she, we talk about it, and she's always very supportive. But I wonder if like the wrestler mind of like AJ Lee was like, bro, what did you just do?
I hope the first thing she said was, "Is Larry okay?"
Well, of course.
I mean, and according to the report, that's what CM Punk was there. I mean, that's what Kenny Omega was there for.
Kenny
Omega was like, "Nope, the dog's freaking out. I'm taking the dog."
God save
and
the
then
queen,
he got
and
the
Omega
dog
saved
out of
the
there.
puppy.
And then, according to the report, Ace Steel just fucking bit him. Bit him.
Goddamn, get bit.
Imagine you're Kenny Omega, and if this is true, again, one side, two side, it's all bullshit. But it's all gonna be weaved in a way that makes the side look, whatever. But if the report is true, Omega's there. He's not. It was apparently the Young Bucks were the aggressors. They went in there and not. I don't mean the aggressors as in started it. I mean Kenny was more in the background. Like, the Bucks were the ones that were more upset about what happened.
Yes, they probably should be.
Yeah. And they went in there, whatever happened, and Omega literally saw the dog freaking out and was like, I need to protect this dog because this is getting violent, and I don't want this dog to get hurt. So I'm going to take the dog out of here. And as he's getting the dog out, Ace Steel just friggin' bites him. And Kenny must be like, what the fuck? What? And then, he's got to get off me. You're biting me. You're 50.
Can I ask a question?
Biting me for?
And I'm going to sound like an idiot. Maybe to some. Who the hell is Ace Steel anyway?
I don't know much about his wrestling career. He might have had some time in WCW, but I know He worked, I want to say he was involved with the WCW power plant at one point, Ace Steel, but he's been like CM Punk's trainer. He was CM Punk's trainer, kind of. He was
did
there
a lot
with
of stuff for
since
Ring
the
of
beginning.
Honor.
Yeah, like Ring of Honor, train, whatever. He was somewhere involved. I don't know much about him as a wrestler, but I know he was integral and I think he trained CM Punk.
When he knocked out Matt Jackson with a chair, or was it Nick?
It was Nick. Apparently, got hit in the face with a chair. That I've seen a report that said Punk threw it, but again, these are all just going to be. We're not going to know until the official.
The real question. The real question I know some of the female followers of this is what does Kenny taste like? That's what
Total War creatine, bro. And video games.
It's ridiculous.
But it's just like, so this is like, Warren touched on it. We touched on it a little bit. So Wednesday, they made no references to it. It was wonderful.
He said the thing at the beginning, and that was it.
The Bucks and Omega, whether they were right or wrong, right? This is the other thing too. Since you have that EVP title, that's important here because it shifts the focus of like, this wasn't just a wrestler on wrestler backstage brawl. This was upper management.
Yes.
Fighting an employee.
Yeah.
That's where this shit gets weird. So the Bucks and Omega, when they come back and eventually they're going to have to make some amends and earn some goodwill because also that locker room saw that and goes, well, if I have any kind of disagreement.
Yeah. If I have a disagreement with my bosses, the Bucks over here, they're going to come fight me.
Which I know Punk went, of course, he went to an 11 on his scale, but I'm just, if I'm Max Caster and you get mad at me because of a line in a rap song, that is clearly.
Are we throwing down?
Yeah, are we throwing down? Like, how are you going to repair that side of it? You should have known. Yeah, in that moment, he said, "Come talk to me, and you did exactly what he wanted. You can't sit there and tell me as a man to man that you weren't pissed off when you did that and go, all right, let's do it right now. Because who hasn't been in an argument or an altercation where it's like, all right, you want to have it out? We'll do it right now instead of like, why don't we wait till tomorrow? We'll call a meeting.
I was going to say, why don't we let cooler heads prevail?
Yep,
Let's go home, take ice up, take a nap, sleep through the night, and then tomorrow, where we still might be angry and have some feelings, but we're calm.
We're cooler heads.
Let's have a meeting with everybody and let's talk this shit through.
Let's bite each other and throw chairs.
Instead, no, I'm going to throw a friggin' steel chair at your eyeball. Ace, you bite that motherfucker. And then this is what that's what happened. That's what happened in a professional environment with people that are older than me. These people are older than me.
And luckily, I had heard
the
rumor that Hangman had left the building already. I'm interested to see what Husky in the house.
Husky, you are damn right. I mean, I can nap. I love me some naps. Well,
that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm talking from a place. I'm not perfect. I've been in arguments. I've been pissed off by things that people have said. I've not handled myself in the best light at times.
Of course, we all have our moments.
But when it comes to we always forget, like, this is a work setting, so it becomes it's not just two wrestlers you had to pull apart like Eddie and Sammy. It's management. It's companies. Punk can say there's no guidelines in place for this. There's no. Like, they have to have all this shit in writing.
Yeah, where's human resources here?
Yeah, human resources. He can sue. Hey, I did do the.
Where's my employee handbook? Where's the handbook that says, hey, what can I do when upper management gets into a physical altercation with me?
Right, and that's where I think we forget. And Punk said at the end of his scrum, like, we're all human beings. Yeah, they're all human beings that work at a job. Like, wrestling is cool, but it's a job.
I'm jumping to extreme conclusions, but is it really? Like, would you be shocked if Punk leaves that he doesn't sue AEW if he wanted to? You know what I mean? Obviously, we would need to know all the information, but if he's like, hey, these vice presidents of this company physically assaulted me.
The only reason I think he would sue is because he needs to earn back some of that Scott Colton money, but what do I know?
He wasn't. He can sue because he didn't get the employee handbook.
To me, that's where all this stemmed from. Was he?
Like, if you think about it, at your shoot job, if I go to work tomorrow and I'm a manager and my employee pops off at me, but I punch the employee for getting in my face and popping off at me, I'm in trouble too. Like, I'm fired.
If you're losing your job. You're losing your job.
I've been in, I am in management in positions. I've been in places where I was right in what I said, but I didn't handle it in the right way. I didn't take it to the office.
Yeah.
And those employees are like, you know, if you don't handle it in the right,
Yeah,
the
you
right
got to be
protocols,
professional about it. There's
and you've
protocols.
got, and I get it. I get it. Your manhood was tested. You're fired up. He just eviscerated you in front of millions of people, because I guess millions of people have seen this by now. It's everywhere. But you're an EVP. It's
Yeah.
a vice president, not I'm just the, you know, the top wrestler in the company. No, you're an executive who has all of these people. Theoretically, I know people are throwing around that the EVP title is a joke and it's a sham. Whatever it may be, it's still the title. It's still there. It's still in the management card, whether it's a joke or not. So Tony, I think he realized that night, like, all right, I got to reevaluate this and I got to figure this out.
You got to throw the hammer down. You got to understand that, like, people need to take you seriously, and I don't think people are. I don't think people look at Tony Khan as, if CM Punk was sitting at that table and that was Vince McMahon, CM Punk ain't talking like that. Mm-hmm. He's not, and he's not. He's not. And I just feel like a lot of, at least CM Punk, but a lot of wrestlers, I don't know if they look at Tony Khan as, and again, I don't want them to look at him as Vince, like, you know what I mean, but like.
It's an authoritative
yes.
figure.
Does everybody? Does every wrestler behind Tony? Do they look at him as their buddy? Do they look at him as their buddy, or do they look at him as, question. Hey, this is the guy who runs this company?
Does he look at everybody like their buddies?
I think that's part of the problem too, because of the way he treats his wrestlers.
And they think
you see them hugging everybody. And again, that excitement, kind of corny bullshit that he does, is part of his charm to me. That's part of why I like him. You know. For all his faults, and there are plenty. And Husky, I would hope they would have cameras back there. I saw the comment pop up, but I don't know.
It's like when Moneyball. Remember the movie Moneyball, and the scene where Jonah Hill's on the plane, and David Justice goes, "Why doesn't he travel with the team?" And he goes, "Because he just likes to keep that distance from you guys." And he's like, "What? In case he has to fire us?" And Jonah's like, "Yeah." You got to figure out a way to, like, distance yourself from your workers in a way that you're not, like, you can still be friendly. Like, everybody loves Triple H, right? But I bet you at the end of the day, everybody knows, okay, the buck stops with trips.
If I do wrong, he's going to send me in the office and he's going to let me, hey, buddy. You know what I mean?
The problem is that everything was all hunky-dory fun and games because they were killing it. They were on the rise. They were about to take down the Giant. And then, like I said this on Tuesday with Carl. I just watched this And One mixtape documentary the other day.
Oh, yes. I've seen
I love And One.
Yeah.
And it was one of the scenes, is one of the founders of And One said, we turned on the TV one day because Nike couldn't get into the street ball game. They couldn't figure it out. And One had it, like, on a chokehold.
Yeah.
And then one day Nike threw, like, a bunch of money and 1 30-second street ball ad. And he goes, they undid everything that we did in 5 years. They did it in 30 seconds. And that's when we started. And that's what happened. Like, WWE goes, I know it was some, unsavory stuff and Vince is out and it was all, happen services. But now that Vince is out and Triple H is like, it's time. I'm taking over. This is what we're doing. And you've seen it. WWE is getting back to where they were. And all of a sudden it's like,
it's
all the problems. And now you got disgruntled employees who are probably like, shit, I shouldn't have left. There's a lot of things. Going on.
And we're going to dive into it because there's also the rumor that, one of those employees got their release.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, I do want to, we've been talking about this for an hour, so I think we'll end it here.
Pretty big deal.
It is. It's a huge story. It deserves.
I got one
hour.
more cupcake. If you need.
I know. Pluggo was like, I just got to eat a cupcake at the beginning of the show. That's all I really wanted.
Just remember, we're all human beings here.
Hey, Husky, thank you so much for the sub, my friend. Glad you're here. Glad you're enjoying the show. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. And trust me and Pluggo will be running down the list of all the other things here at Love Wrestling at the end of the show as well, because we got a bunch. But thank you for the sub. We appreciate the support.
I love how he also kind of gave a Spindrift. Those are seltzers, by the way.
Yes, I do know.
They're classy seltzers, but I don't buy them because they're out of my price range. But I was like, Tony's like, can I have one? And he's like, sure, Tony. And he goes, I'm a nice guy. See, I'm a nice guy. Yeah. I just laid waste to all of you stepping all over your dicks, but I'm a nice guy.
Unbelievable.
Anyway,
WWE changed a lot in one. Yes, they did. WWE. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that WWE? If you go back to when AEW formed 3 years ago, or 3.5, almost 4 years ago now, who would have thought that right now in this moment we would have the thoughts that we have about WWE, where we're like, oh my God, man, WWE is just, it's becoming so good again. And like, things are great, not perfect by any means, but like things are good. People are coming back. There's all this stuff going on, feeling good about WWE. And we're looking at AEW, which was the feel good story of the last decade when it first happened. Like, holy crap, this other company's coming. We like these guys. It's going to be dope. And now it's like, holy shit, this company is literally falling apart at the seams.
But even
on fire.
even
It's
to
on
speak
fire.
on that, Tony Khan later on after Punk, if you stuck around, he did mention he's like, I'm sick of the WWE. You know, they kind of try to counter program type stuff.
Yeah.
He said, I'm coming at this with money. I've got money. I'm not done fighting.
Yeah.
Now I know how Crockett feels.
I know how Crockett feels, but I've got more money than Crockett. So like he's in this thing. Like I said, at the end of the day, we can
Look at if they're going to produce,
if we want. It's all Tony Khan's money in the pot here. There's no, the Bucks didn't throw in tens of millions of dollars. Omega didn't throw in tens of millions of dollars. Tony Khan backed this whole damn thing. And if he wants to make any money or keep his investment at a solid whatever and keep this company worth something, like he's going to have to shut this down. And Kool-Aid guy saying Tony Khan should have just gave the title to MJF.
I said that on Twitter.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of just handing the title over.
No, not because of that. What I thought before everything even went down, and I know I do want to talk about the wrestling, the all out stuff, but when he won the chip, I was like, you know what? I know this is not the rule of the chip, but they should let this guy cash in the chip at the end of the night, and he should leave tonight being champion. And now, knowing that everything that happened afterwards, they should have. Yeah, they should have. And I agree with I agree with Kool-Aid, man. He doesn't really know how Crockett feels.
The card was pulled up.
The reverse card was pulled to the left. Yeah, and it's just,
and that's
it's
what
just
I'm saying.
crazy.
And that's what we've always said. We've said this since we've started this program, you and I, and we've said, people, it was easy low hanging fruit to dump on WWE. But we said the second they figure it out, boom, they're going to be where they need to go. We want them to be better. Competition is good. They're there. They're back. They're not back fully. I think there's still some stuff they need to work on.
Oh, of course. But, yeah. They're not. Like
but they're showing.
But they're showing that they're showing that as a wrestling fan, if we watch the show, we're gonna get rewarded, and we're gonna enjoy we're gonna enjoy it, and we're gonna get rewarded. The storylines have depth now, and like. There's fulfillment. There's callbacks to things that I've seen with my eyes when watching WWE. Like they're getting there. And Triple H has built a reputation with wrestling fans that we believe in that guy because of NXT Black and Gold and how good NXT was. It was the best wrestling product you could watch on television for a long, long time. NXT Black and Gold. And Triple H was the guy that did it. He has that built-in trust with a lot of us that we just are feeling positive about WWE.
Oh, he's saying traded for the chip, don't even have a match.
Triple H with Prez, man. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it'll be him running against The Rock at one point. Imagine.
No, good Lord.
Set your lineup, Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, I know. Mine's set. I'm ready. They already started. They're going right now.
I will say this too. If anything has come out of this weekend that stuck out to me, it is how incredibly hard it is to stay at the top of this business. So I know it's easy to shit on the WWE, but whether they were bad or good, they've maintained it. There's a sense of, hierarchy there. Granted, it was, he said
auto set.
Hey, whatever works for you.
Whatever you got to do, bro.
But yeah, I think we're at the top of the hour. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to run our ads. We got an ad for Manscaped, and as soon as we get back, we're going to continue this conversation, dive into the weekend that was. In the comments, drop your best matches. Oh, and by the way, LPW7's Gigi Rey stopped by.
She did.
Talked to me for a few minutes, gave me some insight on something that our boss hates, and told us he didn't want to see on the show. And she kind of told me what to do and how to get it. So
is that code word for telling me to run that now? Or
no, we're gonna run the Manscaped tab. We're gonna let everyone in the chat get your match of the weekend
Oh yeah,
out
we're
and
gonna
ready,
dive into the wrestling
drop
weekend.
that in the comments.
We're
and
gonna be
talk
talking about some stuff. Before we run this Manscaped ad, I do want to give a shout out to the gentleman in this Manscaped ad who got married recently.
Yes, sir.
Pluggo's best friend, a friend of the show, friend of Love Wrestling, the Wordsmith. We love him. Pluggo that's his emote there. That gentleman right there. He just got married recently, so we want to say congratulations to him and his lovely wife.
All I kept thinking that whole time was, it should have been me.
So we wanted to say congrats to him, and hopefully they're having a fine honeymoon and enjoying the married life as we speak. So here is our buddy, the Wordsmith, telling you a little bit about our sponsor, Manscaped.
Well, let me tell you something, everyone. If you go over to manscaped.com, right this moment in time, right now, you can save 20% off of your next purchase at manscaped.com. But how am I going to save 20%, I hear you ask? Well, let the wordsmith tell you. Because if you enter promo code Love Wrestling, that's right, Love Wrestling. You can see it down here. You can see it scrolling across the screen. Enter promo code Love Wrestling and save 20% off of anything you find on that website. And also, you'll get free shipping. How crazy is that? 20% off. You can use it to buy the Lawnmower 4.0. And at the end of the day, your balls are going to thank you because, like the headline says, at manscaped.com, we save balls. And it's just too sweet.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Killing it.
Manscaped.com, 20% off plus free shipping. You can see it running below here with the promo code Love Wrestling. So go over there. They're a fantastic group, fantastic products. So, and again, congratulations, as some of our fans in the chat have said. Congratulations to the Wordsmith and his wife on their lovely marriage. All right, Alex.
Yes.
I love you.
I want to say thank you for allowing me the time on here.
All right.
This is the most airtime I've had in a while.
Okay. You're welcome. Now get the fuck off my screen.
God save the Queen and Omega save Larry.
Get out of here. All right. Thank you. Oh, Alex,
Listen.
Anyway.
He's lucky we allowed that.
Oh, yeah. He was
all
on
of our new fans in the chat.
I liked it.
He got our handles wrong on Twitter.
He did. He said and it was a very nice tweet too. Like it was a very nice promotional tweet. Nice. I was like, this is a good tweet. And then I was like, however, my handle is wrong and Pluggo's handle's wrong.
So when you
get off my screen. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So
hey Alex. Cool. Hey Alex.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk some wrestling. This weekend, there was a lot of it. We're
not that bad, are we?
No. This weekend, there was a lot of it. I want to start with Clash at the Castle because that was the first show of the weekend. We don't have to dive in depth or anything like that, but there were a few things that happened that I feel like we should discuss. One of them being Dom. Well, Husky, we're talking about that. I'm saving that one. That was my match of the weekend.
Mine too.
Fantastic.
Dominic Mysterio. I'm going to start calling him Dominic Ripley because.
Oh my God. Lucky man. If that's the case, lucky man. So, okay. First and foremost, the 6-woman tag to open the show was very good. I love Bailey. I loved the crowd still singing for her and remembering that. And I loved Bayley not allowing them, not wrestling because they were cheering her. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was amazing. Like, she was just like, no, every time I'm in the ring, they're singing for me. So F you. Every time I get tagged, I'm tagging right back out. You're not doing this. Bayley's just the best. I thought her pinning Bianca Belair, it was very emphatic, the way to go. Bayley should, in my opinion, be the one that takes the belt off of her at some point. I thought it was a solid match. Yeah. I don't know if you have anything to add to it, but I thought it was solid, very well done. I thought they needed the win. They got the win.
No, it was a good match. I thought the right people won. I did want to see one of Asuka or Alexa turn on Belair.
It could happen down the line, though.
Just because it's too chummy for the top of the card.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rhea's the Dom. Dom is the son.
100%.
And he loves it.
You know what? Let's just go into it. Who cares? All right. So the next match was for the Intercontinental Championship.
Well, if we go in order, we're going to need a couple more hours because there were 37 matches.
No, we're not going to do this with every match. There's 5 matches on this card. We can do it. We're fine. We got an hour. We're fine. As Husky said in the chat, Gunther and Sheamus slapped. Holy God, what a match this was. We had our pick show last week, and I said that going into it, I said I think this match has potential to be the best match of the weekend if they let them do what they let them do. And they did. And holy man, with that crowd and all of that, they big meaty men slapping meat, stiff, brutal. They beat the crap out of each other. This was 2 big gentlemen. Oh my, they were swinging. It was real. It was laid in, a lot of them. It was so good. It was my favorite match of the weekend. There was not a wrestling match that I enjoyed more the whole weekend than Gunther and Sheamus.
And it was sloppy at times, which is fine.
But it should be. It's a heavyweight fight. Like, it was like,
that's right.
Man.
And Sheamus has just been on fire. He's next level right now. Like, I thought they were gonna. There was a part of me, like, as the match was going on and the crowd was clearly behind Sheamus. They were behind both guys, but they were clearly behind Imperium's back.
Imperium's back, which was also excellent. They're keeping, what is it? Vinci? What's his first name?
Yeah,
Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah, they're not going to call.
But they brought Imperium back, which I love. That was a great group. I everything about it was excellent. I want to see it again. Now let's have a rematch at WrestleMania and have Sheamus beat him for the title. That would be something, and that would crown Sheamus. It's the only thing that Sheamus hasn't done in WWE is win the Intercontinental Championship. He's won the Rumble, Money in the Bank, cashed it in, all stuff like that. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I thought the ovation that he got afterwards from that crowd was so deserving.
Awesome.
It was awesome. It was emotional. It was so deserving. You could tell that it meant a lot to him. And I feel like that ovation that crowd was giving him was an ovation that all of us should have been giving him, because he's undervalued and he's kind of underappreciated. Not all his fault. Booking has things to do with that too. If they don't show you that we should care about people, then why the fuck are we going to care about people? But man, that whole thing was great. I loved everything about it, and I want to see it again. I loved that match.
Do it again. Do it 5 more times. I don't care.
Yep.
I loved it.
Well, then we had Liv and Shayna, which I thought their placement on the card was unfortunate. It's going to be hard to follow that match.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to follow that match. But I actually thought they had a pretty good match, and I thought it was a match that Liv needed. Even though I wanted Shayna Baszler to win, Shayna Baszler looked like a monster throughout. She looked like a viable threat. I don't think she's mid. I think the booking of her since she won the Money in the Bank didn't her no favors. They ruined her at SummerSlam. But
let me ask you this.
I think this match helped. It helped.
Let me ask you this, because we are Liv stands on this show.
Yeah,
We've
like
always rooted Liv for
pro-Liv.
Liv. But in the WWE landscape, there is no TBS title for the women.
Correct.
if Liv was a male competitor, she would be in the IC title. That would probably
she would be a US IC champion.
That would be her ceiling.
Yes.
But in women's wrestling, there's not another option to either win the main one or you're out of luck. Is she? Maybe he's right. She's just not, because like I'm watching that match, and it's just she doesn't. It just didn't. It was a good match. I didn't hate it, but it was a bad placement on the card. And she's shown in this entire run that when they throw curveballs at her from a fan's perspective or bad booking, she doesn't know how to adapt to it. And that's a main event player does. Like,
yeah.
So is it possible that maybe, like, we love her and I think she's fantastic, don't get me wrong, but like maybe this is just not a good spot for her to be in.
Maybe.
But there's nowhere else for her to go because they don't have, like I said, in AEW,
and I think
they
that's,
got
I think, yeah, and you know
what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be mean.
No, of course not. You're being, it's fine. But like when she won the Money in the Bank, the crowd was very happy. A lot of people were very happy.
Oh yeah, I was happy.
When she cashed in the title, even though she did it immediately, when she cashed in the title and won the title, a lot of people were happy. And then she had the match with Ronda, and everyone was like, wow, she's getting this moment with Ronda. Like, that's pretty good. And the way that they made her look at SummerSlam, I still say, and again, I think the match that happened with Shayna helps. I think she needed it. She needed a good victory with no bullshit. And it made the SummerSlam just made her look really bad because she lost the match. And then Ronda attacked her after, and everyone's booing Ronda like Ronda's the jerk. And Ronda's like, no, I won, and Ronda's right.
Right?
Ronda is right. It's not the way that was supposed to happen. Are we supposed to hate Ronda for being upset that she won the match and lost the match? Like, well, that doesn't make sense. Ronda was right. I think it did no favors. But I think your point is valid. Like, could you make a comparison that?
Like, is she Dolph Ziggler?
I was just gonna say, like, would she be the equivalent of like, but Dolph Ziggler, who will get to the main event picture, win a couple, but he's like an upper mid card guy. He's a guy that they'll, you know.
It's just her story arc is she's a great baby face from underneath, and they fed Shayna to her, which I think they did her I think they did Shayna a great disservice by making her look like $1 million and then have her lose her first match. I think they did an even bigger disservice to Liv by not letting her hold that thing almost Carmella style for almost
the briefcase
a year and build her up into a credible threat. Let her rack, because it wasn't like she was winning.
No.
Before
she was the typical WWE.
This was
the day of or whatever.
Yeah,
like, this is what I'm picking. This is what we're doing.
I would have liked to see
what's the story
her build
coming out of
up.
it? Nothing. She's going to cash in an hour from now. Nah.
Yeah,
you know, like that. That's what that was.
You know, and they're not really doing anything with like Theory right now, but at least he's holding on to it. So there's always.
Well, I mean, Theory was 100% the choice of Vince, and Daddy ain't here no more. Daddy.
But she needed to hold on to it for a little while. Let the Ronda thing, because if you're gonna keep Ronda involved, why not just keep her strapped up?
Ronda is the one that's going to.
Since when did we care that the title's not on TV? You didn't care before.
And I agree with Hab Guy. She's a good underdog story, but it kind of plateaus there since she's become champ. You've lost it, and I think that's what it is. Like, I don't think it's because of Liv Morgan. I just think she's the money is in the chase for her, and now she's there, and it's just been kind of flat. She's been kind of flat. But let's see. I mean, if again, we're talking about Triple H. Triple H knows how to book women's wrestling well. So let's see. But I think all in all, Ronda's the one that's taking the belt off Liv, and that's going to happen at some point whenever they decide to do it.
Charlotte will come back. They'll run that back.
Yeah, and then Mania next year will be the man Becky Lynch against Ronda. Like, that's what they're going to do for the title. That's what's going to happen. So however they get there is however they get there, but I just foresee Ronda being the one that takes it off Liv. But anyway, after that, we had the tag match. It was Edge and Rey Mysterio with Dom at ringside versus the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest with Rhea Ripley at ringside. I thought this match was very good. I thought it was a fun. Edge wearing the mask was ridiculous. Hilarious. I laughed my ass off.
I was like, what is he doing?
Ridiculous. It was absurd
But
how he looked in that mask.
This poor nuts, man. Booyaka, booyaka.
Yeah, exactly. The way he looked in that mask was hysterical to me. But anyway, I
Say,
thought it was a
Ray,
good
not
match.
booyaka. Yeah, dude, that was.
Yeah, Ronda said on stream she doesn't mind doing stories, and she shouldn't. She shouldn't.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's Ronda Rousey. I know she's marquee. She's the name. She's the main event. But like, again, like you don't have. If you're a level of Ronda Rousey, you don't need titles involved all the time. I think I don't even know that. Again, I think that was Vince stuff. That was a Vince booking decision. Yep. When she won it, when she came back at the Rumble, she didn't need to win the Rumble to ask for a title shot. She's Ronda Rousey. You know, she just needs to demand it. Yeah, that's just Vince being Vince. And I think they had to figure out a way to get out of it. And now they're kind of like, well, we don't really have anything else because Charlotte's out, Becky's out, you know, Sasha's gone, Naomi's gone. We've got to figure out how to, again, build up this women's division. And they started with Shayna, but I think they fed Shayna to live too soon because now Shayna's like, all right, well, you're this killer again, and you just lost.
I'm hoping that Shayna somehow, I want Shayna and Ronda to end up together on screen. Like I think that's the way they should go about that. But we'll see.
Yeah.
So we have the so the tag match that happens. I thought it was a fun tag match. It was good. I love the 619 into the spear combo to get the victory for Edge and Rey. But it's really what happened afterwards. It was the juice. The juice here. I've been saying it. We all have. As Joel Pearl said, it was the 257th time since March that all of us were like, come on, Dom. Hit your father. Beat the crap out of Rey. Do it. I was waiting. I thought he was going to turn multiple times already, but he hadn't. But Dom gets in the ring. They're celebrating. And Dom is like kind of off to the side, but he's clapping.
He pulls his best Justin Tucker.
Yeah, he's kind of like, all right. And he goes over and he kicks Edge right in the dick. Oh, tremendous. Tremendous. Right in the balls. And manscaped.com, love wrestling, promo code 20% off. Right in the balls, he kicks him. Unbelievable. And then he looks at him, and that little look, like Edge drops to his knees, and like we'll pretend Dom's here, and he just goes. And he just did like this little look as he's falling. It was incredible. And then Rey is like, Dom, no. Oh. And he's doing like, please, Dick Kick City, bro. Dick Kick City. I love that. Dick Kick City. And then, you know, he's looking, Ray's like, no. And Dom, he clotheslined Rey. He had been holding that clothesline in for
He looked like he wasn't going to turn on Rey.
20, like yes, exactly. Minute. He looked like he was up, and then he walloped Rey Mysterio. Oh, unbelievable. Like you could tell he was thinking about a day that Rey yelled at him when he was 6, and he was like, I'm fucking murdering this guy right here with this clothesline.
Remember when
he was like, remember that time you didn't give me the candy bar at the grocery store, you piece of shit? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm killing you.
Mysterio Christmas is going to be wild.
Oh, Mysterio Christmas. Do you remember that segment they did on Raw a couple months ago where Rey was there with all his family, and his family in that room watched Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest just waltz in there and just basically abduct Rey. And there were 9 people in there, women and men, and they just stood there. I'm like, if that was me, and someone just came into a room and tried to take one of my cousins, we're fighting to the death. We're fighting to the death. That's what they just stood there. They're like, oh, he just got taken by these 2 people getting the shit beat out of him outside the hall. Anyway.
Well, this is all I want. This is all I want. I want the WWE. They need to film a segment again where the Mysterios are celebrating Christmas and just sleeveless, like cut off shirt Dom walks in with Rhea under his arm smoking a cigarette, and he's like, "Sup, mom?"
Oh,
like I want that so bad. And then she's like at the dinner table, and they're just sitting there, just like making out, just being just completely obnoxious, and her mom Angie's just like.
And then you had that one. You had that wonderful. It'll become a gift for the rest of time. But you had the Judgment Day just pointing and laughing, just pointing and hysterically laughing.
The only issue I've got with it is like, Dom, bro, they beat the crap out of you for months, and you were just like, all right.
He fell in love.
That's how they have to play it.
He fell in love.
I know they won't go that route.
Made him see that he wants to be with with
I
Rhea.
mean, Mrs. Pluggo smacks me around once in a while. and I
Hey,
still
same.
love her.
You
I
got
get
it.
it,
Yeah.
you know,
To each their own.
She says they're love taps. I say it's abuse,
Yeah.
but hey, whatever.
Yeah, I get slapped on the head sometimes, and it is what it is.
What are you gonna do?
But bruh, I'm telling you,
Justice
that-
for Pluggo, Alex.
it was incredible. What a moment! But the way they shot it, and the way that they did it at Castle, you didn't know that he was joining Judgment Day because it happened after the match.
Yeah,
It just
because like
happened.
he ripped his shirt off and like walked
just
up
pissed.
that long ass aisle. And that was the thing too. It was such a long ass walk because those aisleways were huge. I was like,
Yeah.
you just cut away for a minute. Just cut away because he
Yeah.
he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And even his like look back was kind of like, am I supposed to be menacing? Like he's got some work to do. But then
He's young. But I think he needed this.
Oh,
He needed this.
He needed
And I'm excited to
something.
see. And as you saw, he came on Monday. Rhea was like, I took your boy and I turned him into a man. And I was like, oh, shit. All right, here we go. And he came out and he's got the all black. He's got the old Eddie Guerrero evil mullet. Oh,
all of a sudden he's that meme where it's like, tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. Look very emo, Dom.
Yes. He's
like,
it's
what's
wonderful.
up?
It's wonderful. I love everything. Yeah. It's one of my favorite storylines they got going on in WWE. I love everything about it. Oh boy! And then
before we keep going, I will say after this program, please stay tuned to this very channel. Major Love Wrestling is going down as soon as we're off the air.
That is true.
They've got all of your news regarding MLW. Papa Smokes, Bobby Munson, absolutely kill it. So please stay here afterwards.
Throwback, thank you. I appreciate that. I am not the king of MLB show, but I appreciate that. I try my best. Dang
That's
it.
why you won't play me.
I try my best. God save the Queen. R.I.P. to the Queen. Passed away earlier today. It's a big deal. I know some people are super duper into that type of stuff. She's been the queen my whole life. Been it since like 1952 or some crazy stuff. Yeah. Wow. 96 years old though. She lived a good life. God bless her.
Yeah. I love that. I see a bunch of like people on like social medias, and I can't believe you're posting this crap going, what happened to her? What happened to her? She's 96.
She's 96. What do you think happened to her?
Guys, like
when you get to be that age, if you hear news about someone, there's only a few things it could be.
Yeah, she's 96.
You know, it is what it is.
It is. R.I.P. R.I.P.
All right. So then
Tonight will be the night that I'm gonna just start doing that all the time.
You should. You should make a video of Dom with that involved. I would like to see what that would be. Right. We then have Matt Riddle against Seth Rollins, which I mean, this was
Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins. Still, I'm sorry, but it's Matt Riddle again. This match was excellent as well. I thought this was, as you expect with these two. These guys are world-class performers. Seth got the victory, as I think he needed the victory a little bit more. Riddle he's fine. I love this match. I thought it was good. I thought Riddle looked like $1 million in defeat. You can make an argument. Like, it's two different types of matches, but this match was very, very good. I still got Gunther and Sheamus as the match of the night of this event for me, but it was really good. What is this? Think of this way. This generation might end up saying, it's true. It's true. It's faces of Foley. I'm of the belief that, like, I don't know. It's weird. I just never. I'm not one of those
Husky's
people.
Not wrong. Like,
again, this is why I think Seth needed it, is because Seth has been doing the best work of his career. I think, from a character standpoint, easily he's, in my opinion, the most entertaining person on the roster with his character work. But every big match that he's been in, he's lost. Everyone for like a while now. So it was good to see him get a win. I think he needs to head up again soon near the title picture once they figure out what they're going to do with those titles.
I'm just surprised that like Matt Riddle isn't going for himself there at a media scrum and eviscerate the world for the things Seth Rollins said.
You know, it's probably because Matt Riddle is a professional. All right, but it is what it is. And then we had the main event of the evening. It was the Tribal Chief, the WWE World Heavyweight Undisputed, Uncontentional Heavyweight, Undisputed Championship. That's what they call it right now. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Something like that?
Exactly. Yeah, X Division title.
Yeah, something weird like that. We had Roman Reigns retain, which I thought they were going to give it to Drew. I was leaning Drew. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
That match had more 2.95 counts than I had ever seen in my entire
And
life.
Husky, yeah.
Like, how does Charles
Roman
Rollins
Reigns is
not
like one of the
miss?
kings of the 2.9. Husky, that Broken Dream stuff with Drew McIntyre was awesome. I loved it. The callback in Broken Dreams. The crowd loved it too. We haven't covered that one. That wasn't the weekend of the match of the weekend for me. It was also a very good one. But
That was a good
Gunther and Sheamus for me was the best
Walter's
wrestling
fine.
match of the weekend. Yeah, Walter's fine. But Roman Reigns retained. I thought they were going to give it to Drew McIntyre. We saw Austin Theory try to cash in, but he got punched in the face
the hell out.
by Tyson Fury. But yeah, I thought this was another really good match with these two gentlemen. I thought Drew was going to take it. I thought Drew was going to take it.
Super on board for the next 10 months. Theory just coming out and getting
something happens and he just doesn't do it.
Like I'm here for it. Like when they did it with Brock and Roman, I was like,
yeah.
All right. And then he gets knocked up by Fury. I was like, all right, like let's see what else we can do.
That would be fun.
He gets tripped up, slips on some popcorn or banana peel or something. Let's do it.
Yeah, that would be fun. And
I thought for sure this was going to be Drew's moment because, like,
me too. The crowd was super behind him. Obviously,
this says to me that they've got Cody sooner than later, or they've got something else in that does.
I mean, what about the Rock?
You don't put you don't.
I agree.
You don't do that. Even Hunter wouldn't do that because why would you do that? It gives you this illusion that the Rock's going to win the world. We know he's not carrying that thing. We know that the young Rock, aka future president of the United States of America, ain't got time to be a champion and run these belts. We know he's going to lose.
Yep.
So no.
All right.
I'm
with you. I don't want the title near that program, but crazier things have happened. But all in all, I thought Clash at the Castle I thought that crowd was fantastic. I loved the way that it looked. I love the lighting. If you have a hot crowd, show the hot crowd. You know what I mean? Like, show them. Let me see them flipping out. That makes my viewing experience better because most likely I'm flipping out on my couch, and I want to see other people having the same reaction as me. I liked it. Hopefully it becomes a yearly thing. Big shows in other parts of the world are a good thing. Those fans will be hot and will be jacked up because they don't get to see them. And that's true. Not all fairy tale endings come true. I thought the momentum heading into it. I was like, now's the time. Roman doesn't need the titles.
Yeah, and
take them off. Give it to Drew.
It was great. It was nice to see Roman by himself. And it took me like as soon as I was like, where's everyone else at? I was like, oh yeah, that's right. The Usos cannot leave the States.
Correct.
And I was like, that makes sense. So what are they going to do? And then here comes Solo Sikoa.
We saw the third Uso.
Like, all right. I like Solo Sikoa.
I do too. And I'm glad that he's part of it now. He's just right in there. He's part of the bloodline as he should be. He is the younger brother of the Usos. He looks exactly like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they do. Yeah. But you can't send one without the other. They're the tag champs. They need to be there. But all in all, I thought Clash at the Castle was very good.
Where was Heyman?
I don't know.
Because he's he's
been out though. He was on the promotion for Extreme Rules, which makes me think he's going to come back soon, like within the next couple of weeks here, maybe even tomorrow. But he had been selling the F5 through the table at SummerSlam.
Okay. Because I was like, that was also weird. Because that crowd would have been ate up Heyman being there.
Oh yeah, Have Guy. If you can get around to it at some point, try to watch it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the whole show was good.
Solo didn't do a ton of stuff to get involved. He did enough basically to like skirt the victory for Roman. Yeah. So still selling announce table spots. I would be. I mean,
yeah, dude. F5 through there too, bro.
If I got F5 just on a stack of feathers, I'd be like hurt for like a month.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah,
brutal.
I wouldn't be able to do this show. I'd be like, I'm tired. I'm old. I'm hurt. And I work.
We then had children. The next day. Did you watch Worlds Collide?
I watched some of it.
Did you watch Hayes and Ricochet?
I did watch Hayes and Ricochet.
Don't get me wrong. I like the tag match too, just because I love the Creed brothers. Even though they didn't win, I just love the Creed brothers. But
I went on a date. Remember?
What? Oh yeah, you had date night.
And
You
you
had
were
date
like,
night on
you're
Sunday.
like, you work at a wrestling company and you're out here having a date. I was like, bro.
Maybe that's why you're married and
So
I'm
I
not. Maybe that's why I'm married and you're not. But I was like, you went on a date Sunday night during All Out? You're like, yeah, the
Dude.
wife wanted to go on a date. I'm like,
Dude, that's
doesn't
why
she
the
know there's
All-Out
like
weekend,
6 Sundays a year that you
that's why
shouldn't be
the
going on
All-Out
dates?
weekend was wild for me. I started watching All Out when we got home. I caught up, but I'm watching All Out on a phone and media scrumming on YouTube, and I was like, "What happened?"
Yeah.
Like,
Hab guy
anyway,
says
so
I thought it could have been better if, say, Sammy went to help Roman, but Solo came out to stop him, inadvertently costing Roman. You get the title off Roman, and you get a wedge starting for the bloodline. Bring in The Rock to help set things straight, and you've got your story. I mean, yeah,
that's not bad.
that's
I
not
was
bad.
like
What I
that.
personally think is going to happen is Roman's going to be standing in the ring, and he's going to go, I'm the head of the table. I've beaten everybody. There's nobody more important to my family's history than me. I am the head of the table. This is my family. I want to make things going here. And then we're just going to hear, at one point, we're just going to hear, if you smell, and it's going to be on. It's going to be on. The crowd's going to lose their shit, as they should. I will, and we all will. And then that'll be that. That's what I think. But Worlds Collide.
Ricochet and Hayes,
Fantastic.
Absolutely
Very good.
ruled. I would love to see a best of 7 of them. I did catch a good amount, if not most, of Mandy Rose, Miko.
Yeah, that was a good match as well.
Blair Davenport. I am super shocked that they went with Mandy Rose there.
Really?
Because I think Mandy and Toxic Attraction are main event ready. That's what main roster
I would agree.
ready.
Main roster ready. Yeah.
You put them up, acknowledge me.
Exactly.
Smell.
Yeah.
I mean,
smell. It's going to be something like that.
I acknowledge you, Have guy, because I smell. In the shower.
That's gross.
Oh, I get what he's saying, because the Rock's theme is like, if you smell. Oh, I see what you're. Oh,
that's what he's trying to say.
My B. I thought you were saying I smell.
I thought the main event was a very good main event. Tyler Bate and Braun Breaker. I expected Braun to win, obviously. But I thought all in all, it was, and most of the things that I thought would happen. They got the UK titles onto main roster NXT people because the UK is going bye-bye and Europe is starting next year. And that's what happened. But all in all, I thought it was a very good wrestling show.
So are they just going to do a Worlds Collide to get them all back onto them?
I don't know. No, they'll probably just make new belts with the NXT Europe, even though those NXT UK designs were pretty. They were pretty
awesome.
Those were good.
So, but that's my thing. Like, what do you do now? Okay, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. I couldn't stand the fact that Triple H is sitting up there talking about what an amazing weekend for, UK wrestling. The same week you're shutting down your UK promotion. Like,
yeah, but
what a great
NXT
week!
Europe.
Your UK wrestling is alive and well. They're shutting the shit.
But they're shutting down Europe.
I get what they're doing.
I'm sorry. They're making NXT Europe, so they're making it bigger.
So do these UK titles now? Does Braun
and
Mandy?
They're gone. No, they'll be. I think they'll be gone. I didn't watch Tuesday though. Were they still there on Tuesday? I don't know. I didn't watch
either. Because I was honest to God, I've been so enthralled with the CM Punk stuff that like everything else has just been kind of like, I gotta know. I did a turnbuckle talk with Carl. Yeah. Shout out to Carl on Tuesday. So I actually didn't watch NXT because I was on during NXT.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought all in all, Worlds Collide was nice. And then we had Sunday night. We had All Out. We talked extensively about everything that happened after All Out. But we can run through All Out. I thought all in all, I thought it was a good show. There was some booking decisions that I didn't understand. But it is what it is. On the pre-show, we started off hot with that mixed tag match. Happened right at the beginning. Sammy Guevara. Sorry, I can't speak. Sammy Guevara. I missed that Sammy Guevara, to be honest with you. Sammy Guevara. He got run over again. He got run over. Ortiz ran him over.
If he's still in the company like 5 years from now, he's gonna be like, "All right, guys, what?"
Jeez. But it was Ty Mello and Sammy Guevara in a AAA mixed tag championship match against Ruby Soho and Ortiz, which we saw just 2 nights prior on Rampage. We already saw this match, but it was kind of this was more of a no holds barred type situation. It was a little brutal. They started brawling, and poor Ruby Soho broke her nose at the end of this. She took that finishing move like that's. She kind of holds him and spins him over and hits the knee, the Ty Mello, and she connected, and she broke poor Ruby Soho's nose. You could see Ty knew immediately. She was like, "Oh my God!" Like you could see her openly being like, "Are you okay?" Like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." Like, "Are you okay?" And like Ruby, you could tell Ruby was fucked up because she like didn't like lay down for a pin like you normally would. She was like up like this, like, oh shit. And Mello like had to like push her down, like, hey, get your shoulders down. Like, sorry, but we gotta end this match. That's rough. That's
Poor
rough.
Ruby. She's had a rough run here.
I agree. But hopefully she's getting healthy and we can see her come back and she can, get that moment that we're all waiting for her to get. Your boy Hook. This was his hardest match to date. He definitely this was the match that he definitely took the most physical punishment.
I can't do it today.
No, I mean that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, that's all right. I feel like that's on par. That's okay. That's okay. Hook retained, but it was against Angelo Parker. And like I said, this was Hook's one of his longest matches. I would say maybe even his longest. Yeah, he does.
I liked it because he can't just run through everybody.
Exactly.
It's unrealistic, especially a guy his size. Like, no offense to him.
Yeah, no, he's definitely in shape, but he's not the biggest. Like he should be able. There should be people that get the advantage on him from time to time.
Exactly.
But yeah, he definitely took the biggest beating he's taken as a performer in the ring so far.
Thank God for Action Bronson, bro.
Well, I was going to say Matt Menard got involved at the end, and Action Bronson, who obviously does Hook's theme song, he was ringside, and he got involved, and he got in the ring, and he helped to run off Parker and
my favorite
Daddy
part
Magic.
Of all of that was the Twitter sphere thinking that was Bray Wyatt.
Did they really?
There was a few people that were like, "Is that Bray Wyatt?" And everybody's like, "No, that's Action Bronson."
These friggin' people. These friggin' people, Pluggo. Are you kidding me?
I was like, the internet is alive and well, man. The internet's undefeated. So if you ever say anything stupid on the internet, people, they'll tell you.
Oh, 100%, dude. 100%.
I never say stupid things on the internet.
No?
Never.
It's fair.
That's not true.
That's fair. We then had the AEW All Atlantic Championship match. We had Pac defend against Kip Sabian. I thought this match was a good comeback for Kip. You're going to get a good match with Pac.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was spectacular or anything like that. I thought it was solid, but Pac got the win. I did like after the match how Kip Sabian was like yelling at the box, like he was talking to the box about how he was like, "You ruined this. Like we were supposed to be good and blah blah blah." So I thought that was like,
didn't understand. That was weird to me.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be a weirdo. I think he's going to be like a multiple personality, crazy super villain.
Poor Penelope.
Yeah. Good to see her last night on Dynamite, by the way. Penelope. Yes. I'm a big fan of Penelope Ford. Then we had this main event of the pre-show. Eddie Kingston versus Tomohiro Ishii. You could tell the day before they maybe watched the
watch Gunther,
Gunther and Sheamus match, and they were like, okay.
They're like, we're gonna go ahead.
That's what we're okay. And they
is that the bar? We're gonna set the bar.
They were chopped. You could see Ishii's blood vessels like near his pit getting like popping, like because of how often Eddie Kingston must have chopped that man 50 times in the chest, maybe more. That might be undershooting it. It was a lot. That was a brutal match, and it was also a very, very good match. Eddie Kingston got the win, which was nice to see because, like Seth Rollins, Eddie Kingston is a guy that doesn't get many big wins. So it was good to see him get a win. But these guys beat the crap out of each other, Pluggo. They beat the crap out of each other. It was bad.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting any technical high flying wizard.
Oh, me neither.
Just brawl, baby, and I love it, and that's the way to do it. And Eddie Kingston put the title on him already, a title of some type.
Well, they have one open. So actually, they have one open. So, but I thought the pre-show was good. I like the format. I mean, the 4 matches on there, which leveled out the card to just 11 matches on the main card. And we're going to run through them relatively quickly so we can get out of here on time. But the Casino Ladder match opened the show. It was Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, Penta, Rey Fenix, Dante Martin, Andrade El Idolo, Roosh, and the Joker. The match had its obvious high spots. It was very good. There were a couple points where Wheeler Yuta looked like he was going to pull off the victory. That would have been cool. But then really the story is the Joker. So as the countdown's going on, we see a bunch of masked individuals come down to the ring. They take out basically everybody that's involved. And one of these masked individuals climbs the ladder and grabs the chip. And he takes off his mask to unveil that it was Stokely Hathaway that grabbed the chip. Then you see Ethan Page take off his mask, W. Morrissey, the former Big Cass, the Ass Boys were there, Lee Moriarty was there. So you see all these people that Stokely has been given his business cards to this last month or so. And then all of a sudden you see a video, and it's a gentleman dressed in all black, and he has a mask on, kind of like a V for Vendetta-ish type mask. Yep, Ethan Page. Love Ethan Page. I wanted Ethan Page to be the Joker, to be honest with you. He was one of my picks to be the Joker. I would have liked that a lot, but I did not dislike what we saw. We then hear the Rolling Stones song Devil. And we have this figure walk down to the ring. He grabs the chip from Stokely. He looks like he's going to take off his mask, and he doesn't. And he says, no, you guys got to wait for that. Sorry. And he leaves. And that was how that match ended. Pluggo, what were your opinions when you saw the Joker? Obviously not knowing what we will find out at the end of the show.
I thought it was corny as hell.
Did you? You didn't like it? You weren't a huge fan?
Not knowing if you're just looking at that was a choice. So the appeal of this Casino Battle Royal Joker thing, not Battle Royal, this Casino ladder match is like you can win the chip at any time.
Yeah.
So if you're the first guy out, you take your due time, you could win it before the rest get out there. They've never done that. So then they do this. So Stoke just goes up there. And again, you don't know who the Joker is this time. It's just some weird guy in a mask. We all assume it's MJF.
Yeah.
But it's not been spoken. And it's this ragtag again. Stokes with this. It's like a Matt Hardy thing with all these random pieces. It doesn't make sense. And they pay it off at the end of the show, of course. And then you're like, okay, that makes sense. That's brilliant. Great work. But if they didn't pay that off, you're sitting there going, what the hell was that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you just had all these, it kept you thinking, but it also was like, it just felt like the rest of it was just like, we're setting up for this big match because the Joker, we're just going to set up for the Joker. They need to start throwing this Joker card out mid-match, or they need to have one of these where somebody pulls it mid-match and the last four competitors don't get a shot. Just something different. But yeah, I mean, like I said, had they not paid it off at the end of the show, I would have thought that's how you were going to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they paid it off and it worked out and it made sense because it's MJF and he's freaking back. And he's awesome. And I'm excited.
Yeah.
I would have wanted Dante Martin to win though because I love Dante Martin.
Really? You were rooting for Dante Martin?
I always root for Dante Martin.
I really like Roosh. I like Roosh a lot. I think he's very good. But that's besides the point. But I like him a lot. Then we then had
I thought it was Bray. Yeah.
Bray Husky Wyatt. Said he thought it was Bray Wyatt with the hand movements, which at first I was like, well, once he walked out and you saw the stature of him and he kind of did a couple movements, especially walking back up the ramp. He had
nice shoes on.
Yeah, he had them nice shoes on. I was like, yeah, that's MJF. Sympathy for the Devil was the name of the song for the Rolling Stones and stuff like that. So, right, and that made sense.
We're running low here.
Yeah, but
keep pushing.
No, we're good. The Elite, Kenny Omega. Oh, yeah. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, they won the Trios titles versus the Dark Order. I thought this match was fantastic.
Knowing what we know now, put it on the Dark Order.
I know. Careful if PJ was here, they would have complained. It's true. Knowing what we should have known now, they should have maybe put it on the Dark Order, but obviously it made sense for Omega and the Young Bucks to win. The moments with Hangman in there, especially with Kenny and Hangman, the crowd was jacked up, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. I thought it was the right choice for the first champions before everything occurred. What were you thinking about this trios match?
Oh, I mean, this was one of those, you knew it was going to be, Bucks and Omega doing their thing, the Elite. I didn't expect the Dark Order to win this at all. And then we found out Alex Reynolds also got hurt in that match.
Yeah,
So,
unfortunately.
So that definitely even swing, you just knew the Bucks,
Yeah.
Omega. That's why Tony Khan said I was waiting for Kenny to come back specifically for this moment.
Mhm.
And it came. The match was fantastic. Things are looking up. And then they're no longer champs.
No, not anymore.
One day.
Yeah, but on Dynamite, like we saw, and again, we're not going to have time to go to Dynamite, but as Dynamite, as we saw, the first match was a great 6-person tag.
Death
and
Triangle
Death Triangle
rules.
and they
I
are
would have gave it to
literally
the Best Friends, though.
I would have too. That's where I was leaning. I was like Best Friends, but either way, that was a fantastic match. It was so good. But anyway, All Out. We then had Jade Cargill defeat Athena. This match was very quick, but it was like a sprint. It started off hot and it kept going. I actually thought it was pretty good. But again, the women's matches need to be long. Yeah.
I would have put on Athena. SRS had reported that they were allotted more time. They just didn't use it.
Yeah.
Like Athena and Jade. So I don't know. But yeah, it was very quick. It was anticlimactic because it's like Jade, it's time for her to do something different. I'm wondering and Athena, like if it's not Athena, then who? Because you ain't built anybody else up.
It's true.
But it's a solid match.
Yeah. We then had the match. This was the match I cared about the least, but it was Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns, which it was cool to see the Motor City Machine Guns, don't get me wrong. Versus FTR and Wardlow. FTR and Wardlow got the victory. I thought it was a cool moment. The other three came out and they made fun of the daughter's shirt there, which I was kind of like, oh, you bastards, not cool. And that is true. Pac is the first ever double champion in AEW history.
I remember us talking about that a while ago, thinking it was going to be Wardlow.
Yeah,
but hey,
it is Pac. So that's an answer for a trivia question for the rest of the time.
Belts.
But I think the real story of this match was FTR and Wardlow won. Wardlow did his powerbomb party. He had 4 on Lethal for the win, but I think the match afterwards was Samoa Joe made his triumphant return. He came back. He attacked Satnam Singh. They threw Sanjay Dutt in the ring, and Finley Harwood, the daughter of Dax, came out, and she broke the pencil, which I thought was very cool, how she snapped the pencil in half, and then Dax punched him in the mouth, and Finley put her foot on his chest and got the 1, 2, 3. I thought that was a very cool moment. We move on. Powerhouse Hobbs.
Samoa Joe came back at the end of that match too.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Well, I just said that. I said Samoa Joe came back. That was like with everything that happened this weekend, that's like the 15th most important thing. So
I know,
but Samoa Joe came back, and we love us some Samoa Joe. We then had Powerhouse Hobbs get a decisive victory over Ricky Starks, which was confusing to me. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem with Powerhouse Hobbs getting big wins, getting pushed up.
Big beefy Joe.
Yeah, big beefy Joe. That's what they call me on the streets. But that's true. It's true.
And in the sheets.
Yeah, that's what it's true. I have no problem with Powerhouse Hobbs getting a showcase here. He's great. I like him a lot. But this match, I thought all of us were kind of like, oh, this is the Ricky Starks going to get a big singles win, and he's going to the moon. But it did not go that way. It was rather decisive. Like Hobbs dominated this match, basically.
Yeah, and there's rumors that Hobbs is in for a big push, and Hobbs is awesome. So I'm not
I got no
mad
problem
about it. It's just
I just thought Ricky Starks is like, whoa, man.
See, this is this is where I was like worried about Ricky. I was like, is Tony Khan going to see this vision long enough to give him his moment, because he's ready, but he did not in this moment. So hopefully he gets it.
Yep. We then had, in my opinion,
curveball. Yes, Husky. I didn't agree.
It was a curveball.
We both unanimously were like, Ricky. No disrespect to Haas. This is Ricky's moment, but they didn't pull the trigger.
We then got what I thought would be the match of the night for me. It was the AEW World Tag Team Championship with Swerve and Our Glory defending and retaining the AEW Tag Team Championships against the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed were super duper over. The crowd. The crowd might have been cheering for them more than they cheered for anybody the entire night. That crowd wanted them to win. They did not, but I think it was done in a way that it makes the crowd want to see them win more. It wasn't done in a, hey, we're not giving you what you want type scenario. It just makes it bigger. And I think at Grand Slam, they've already announced the rematch. The Acclaimed is going over at Grand Slam. I think that's what's happening there. I thought this match was great. I agree with Husky. the Acclaim should have won. I think it was Hab Guy, or I believe it earlier, that said they didn't like the Acclaimed at first, but it's starting to win them over. I want the Acclaim to be the champions, but this match,
I love
ruled.
Swerve and I love Keith Lee and all that. And I'm a big Swerve guy, but yeah, that at that moment, I think you should have pulled that trigger there.
Yep, 100%.
Especially because you didn't pull the trigger in the 4-way with Hayter, and she was super.
Well,
over.
we're going to talk about that now. We had the 4-way. It was Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, and Toni Storm. I thought this was a solid match as well. I thought all 4 of these women looked good. I would have given it to Jamie Hayter. The daddy ass era will soon begin. I would have given it to Jamie Hayter because I thought that would have been a fun story, but they did not. They gave it to Toni Storm, which I'm not upset about.
Yeah,
I think she was the safest, most logical choice. But I thought this match was good. I don't know if you have anything to add. I would have liked Jamie Hayter to get it, but they built that tension. They built that tension. She had a coming out party. She was over by with the crowd too.
And they built the tension.
They built the tension between Britt and her during the match. So I think we're getting that story no matter what. I think it just would have been cool if Hayter was the champ.
I think my issue was if you're waited this long on Tony anyway, what's a couple more weeks? Say at Arthur Ashe.
Yeah.
Get it there. Yeah. Let Jamie win it and just build some stuff with Britt for a little bit and have Britt cost her. Then you've got 2 juicy women's storylines going forward, but instead they did the safe thing and now they only have 1.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. But the match itself was pretty good. It was all right. We then had Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And this match, I wanted to get your opinion. I know we're cutting it short here, but this match, and that the rumor came out that Christian's working through an injury. Already. That Christian's working through an injury. And if that is true and that's the case, then it makes sense. But Jeff Hawkins did allude to this last week on the Pick'em show that Luchasaurus never really attacked Christian, never laid a finger on Christian. He never really super duper helped Jungle Boy. And he was like, I think that Christian's going to win thanks to Luchasaurus. And Christian didn't even have to wrestle thanks to Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus beat the crap out of Jungle Boy starting right from when he came out at the entrance and threw him in the ring. And Christian hit a spear and he hit the kill switch and it was night real quick. I know you're not a Christian guy, but how'd that make you? The spear was it was a good spear. It was a good spear.
I'm sitting there going, there's Christian Cage figuring out a way to not do anything again.
Yeah.
But hey, if you're going to do it that way, that's the way to do it. It was fine. Now you've got, if Christian's out, you can move on. Jungle Boy came out and said, you were carrying me on your shoulders all these years, but I've been carrying your career on my back. So I think we're going to get an awesome program from those 2. I'm super interested to see how Luchasaurus fares on his own.
Yep. I would agree.
But we'll see how that goes. Unless Christian's going to hurt. And
I think Christian might just be the manager. Yeah, I think so until he's good to go.
Okay.
We then got what I thought was a very good match. This match exceeded my expectations. It was Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. I thought you expect that these guys are, come on.
I thought Danielson was going to win.
I thought Danielson was going to win. This is another one of those decisions where I thought Danielson was going to win. The way it played out, I get it. But I thought this was an easy Danielson win, and it went the other way. They gave Jericho the victory. We're getting the rematch, though, due to the AEW tournament. And I expect Danielson, I think, is going to win the rematch. But I think it's going to be Danielson and Mox in the final. That's just what I think. But anyway, regardless of that, I thought this match was really good. I want to see it again, so I'm glad we're getting it again. But I thought Danielson was going to win.
That's fair. That's how I thought. Good match. Jericho still got it, man.
Yep.
He never hits. These matches, I'm always like, he's going to look terrible against the Bryan Danielson. Nope.
Darby and Bryan would be fun. I think Mox is winning the title again. I just think that's probably what they're going to do. But Darby and Bryan would be a lot of fun. We then had, speaking of Darby, we then had the House of Black up against Miro, Darby Allin, and Sting. I thought this match was fine. Malachi Black got the pinfall. Like he took the pin. Darby Allin pinned him. And then we found out yesterday in all the melee and the craziness of this week that he has been released. He's gotten his conditional release. So we'll see what the future is for Malachi Black. It's unfortunate, but you got to take care of your mental health and got to take care of yourself sometimes. And he felt like that was what was best for him. I thought this was a typical 6-man or tag match involving Sting and Darby. I thought it was good. I would have liked House of Black to win, but I understand why Miro, Sting, and Darby won. So, anything to add for you?
Sting gonna sting.
All right. And we don't have to dive too much into the World Championship match. It was nice to see these two gentlemen have an actual match. I thought the match was good. I did not expect CM Punk to just win that way, like just clean. Like I was expecting some heelish stuff, but obviously everything
we got it afterwards.
It doesn't fucking matter. So that we're talking about shit that doesn't matter because he's not even the champion anymore.
Yeah, that's why
nobody's the champion. It is what it is. I just felt like we need to go through it. It's the wrestling of the weekend, but
no offense to All Out, but half the shit that happened doesn't
matter.
The Christian stuff doesn't matter. The trios didn't matter. The world title.
But you know what does matter? Before we get out of here,
what
does matter is you sat down.
I did. So
yes, let's do this.
So Gigi Rey came back, LPW 7. She wrestled Zoe Sager. I got an opportunity to talk to her about her upcoming match at LPW 8 next month. That'll drop tomorrow, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or this weekend, the full interview. But she let me in a little inside information via, she had something that we've had since day one here that we were told our boss doesn't like. He doesn't like fireworks. He doesn't like pyrotechnics. So I asked her, Gigi, you're the only wrestler on LPW that had pyro. How did you get it? And this is what she said. All right, friends, it's Pluggo. I am here with Gigi Rey. And Gigi, the reason I have you on this random occasion here on Between Two Beards is because I noticed at LPW 7, you had, for the first time, I believe ever, pyrotechnics. And I know that my boss, Spencer Love, was very anti any firework or pyrotechnics on this particular program. How did you get him? How did you convince the boss to blow the budget, as we like to say, on some fireworks?
I don't really know how that came about. I just remember I showed up and they said we put some tape on the floor, stand right there in your entrance. I said, okay. And I stood there and there go the pyro. So
but
I didn't ask for it, but I mean, when you're bringing in like a money star like me, you get a little extra sometimes, I guess.
Is that what it is? I need to become a money star, money gang type stuff. Because like I said, he yells at me. I get in trouble when I light a couple sparklers here in my own studio. And he's bringing out the big guns for you, which more power to you. So if you could, next time you see Spencer, put a good word, say these Between Two Beards guys. They're good for the pyro
They
too.
need a little something extra.
They're part of the money team.
I think it might have just been like, an extra little gift to me for coming home. I've been away for like quite a while. Obviously, I think if I was living in Edmonton, because I live in the States now, I probably wouldn't get that type of treatment, but like it was a homecoming. It was my first time at LPW. So they treated me very, very well, which I was very, very fortunate and very grateful for them to do that for me.
Well, whatever you're doing is working, and I appreciate you taking a little time out for us on Thursday nights here on Between Two Beards. We're going to get you out of here, but before we do, Gigi, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you and what you got coming up.
Absolutely. Both on Instagram and Twitter, I am Gigi Wrestling. Coming up, we have LPW 8 at the end of the month, September 30th. After that, I will be back in Texas, wrestling in Houston, Austin, all those places. So yeah, if you just follow along with me on my Instagram and Twitter, you can see where I'll be wrestling coming up.
Right on. Once again, appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. So all we got to do is just show up now, I guess, with pyro next week. We don't have to ask anymore. He just gives it away.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know.
Sparklers.
I would have been having pyro every damn week if I knew that was the case.
That's right. I'm sitting here. I'm trying to run a business.
Unbelievable.
I'm trying to run a business.
Don't do that. We don't have time for this. We have to get out of here. Thank you all so much for hanging on and hanging out with us. A lot of CM Punk talk, a lot of wrestling talk.
On their dicks.
Just eat your fucking cupcake. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to be professional over here. For the love of God.
I'm trying to listen. You're over here.
Anyway, we need to get out of here. We have less than a minute before our boys Bobby and Papa Smokes give you the best MLW coverage you will find on these interwebs with Major Love Wrestling. Pluggo's making an absolute mess of himself over there. Follow him at @Pluggo_. Follow us at @B2Beards on all social medias. Follow me at Joseph_Poulin Jr. Follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming on Twitch. Stay tuned
right,
on Love
baby.
Wrestling. Follow
Major
us here on Love Wrestling.
rules. That's
We
coming
got a
up
lot of
next.
stuff going on. There's going to be a great show following up here in like 30 seconds or a couple minutes when they pop on. Give us a follow. Give us a like. Husky, thank you for the sub tonight. Hopefully we'll see you here every week. We're here every week at 8 p.m. on Thursdays. And until next week, for this cupcake eating fool over here,
Stop by
and
Mindy's.
for
They're
me,
closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, baby.
peace out.
Get yourself help and your progress. I'm only taking 12 steps.